Welcome back to the Bright Light Wellness YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I want to chat with you a little bit about what's the difference between when you see an allopathic doctor or when you see a homeopathic practitioner, I'll say. What is that intake process like? Okay, so let's say you go to your allopathic doctor with a UTI. And you go and they test your, you say, I feel like I have a UTI. They test your urine, they test your symptoms, and they say, yep, you do. They don't even really ask you a lot about your symptoms, maybe a little bit. Maybe they spend with you like 5-10 minutes max, like that might be max, right? And they, say, okay, great. Here's your prescription pad. Here's your medication for that. And whether it's me or you or my friend or my neighbor, everybody who has a UTI is going to get the same antibiotics, right? They're going to get the same kind of medicine. There's not really a differentiation. There's not a lot of questioning. There's not a lot of talking. Everybody's getting the same medicine, right? Now, say you go to a homeopathic practitioner and you say, listen, I have these symptoms of a UTI, right? They're going to start asking you a lot of questions. They're going to spend some time with you. They're definitely going to spend more than 7 to 10 minutes with you. They're likely going to spend, in an acute case, usually 30 minutes. If this is a chronic case, usually an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And they're going to ask you a lot of different questions about your symptoms. When did this start? Was it after you were exposed to cold, dry wind? Was it after you were sitting on a cold bench? Was it after intercourse? They're trying to figure out the root cause of what was the reason why this began or started, right? They are going to ask you all kinds of questions about the symptoms, okay? So, example, let's stick with the UTI. Is it burning at the beginning of urination? Is it burning at the end of urination? Is it burning all the time? Is it not burning? Is it stinging? What is the pain like? Does it burn? Does it sting? Does it cramp? Does it spasm? Does it where is the pain? Where and when is the pain? What makes it better? What makes it worse? Does cold applications make it worse or better? Does warm applications make it worse or better? Do certain foods trigger this and not trigger this, right? There are so many questions that the homeopath will ask you. They will ask you about your mental, emotional state during this acute, right? They'll ask you about, does exercise support or not support it? Does it help it or make it worse? Does movement help it or make it worse? All these modalities make a difference. Are you more warm or more chilly during this acute? Is there blood in the urine? Is there any kind of discharge? Like, all of these things will make a difference in the prescribing, okay? They'll, like I said, ask you about your mental, emotional state. How are you feeling during this? Are you feeling, are you depressed? Are you despairing recovery? Are you weeping and crying more often? All of these things actually make a difference. If it's women, is it hormonally related? Do you get UTIs every month at this certain time of the month, right? All of these things make a huge impact. So, as you can see, the allopathic doctor is going to say, okay, that's just a few minutes of my time. Everybody who has this UTI or this bacterial strain gets this medicine, right? It's actually a really easy job, right? If you're a general practitioner, you're like, here you go. You have UTI, you take this antibiotic. You have depression, you take this antidepressant. You have high blood pressure, you take this high blood pressure medication. It's kind of an easy job. But when you see a homeopath, they are actually not treating the disease diagnosis. They are treating you and your individuality to your case and specifics, why you're susceptible. And this is how homeopaths get to the root cause and make you less susceptible to these health issues, okay? So they are not treating a disease diagnosis. They are treating you and how you express the symptoms. Because honestly, as a person who had or has or recovering from, I'll say, interstitial cystitis, I know from being in communities of groups of people who have that disease, how differently each one experiences it. Some have copious urination, some have scanty urination, some have burning at the beginning, some have burning at the end, some have spasms, some have frequent urgent urination, some always get a UTI after intercourse, some get them during their cycle, right? I know, and I would always wonder about those differentiations and why because everybody experiences the disease differently because we're all unique individuals. And that's why giving one medicine for everybody makes no sense. We need to be treating the symptoms and treating the person and how they uniquely express those symptoms. Now, homeopathy works on the principle of like cures like, okay, where allopathic medicine works on the principle of opposites, the law of opposites. So they give you something to suppress the symptoms, where homeopathic medicine gives you something to support the symptoms. And the like cures like means that the medicine that you're given would actually cause those symptoms in a healthy person, but then cures that in the sick person when it matches. It has to be a resonance, a frequency that matches with you individually. This is why you cannot just go look up, homeopathic medicine for UTI and get the right one. You need a qualified person to sit with you who's trained, for an hour or at least a half hour to an hour to really understand your symptoms, your suffering, what's going on, and how to support that in the body. Okay. So I hope this is helpful. It helps you understand a little bit of the difference between how allopathic medicine works and how homeopathic medicine works and how it's different. Okay. We're supporting, not suppressing, and we're treating the individual. That is the main big difference. And we're spending that time to really understand a person. Doctors used to do this, actually. I mean, allopathic medicine is always suppressed because it's always been the law of opposites, but they used to be like more in tune with their patients. And they used to actually like do home visits and be like, really like know what's going on that could have been impetuses to disease, right? Where now we're just so disconnected and so busy and doctors are so overwhelmed, and that's the system's problem, not necessarily the doctor's problem. That's a system problem, right? But they're so inundated. They don't even they just, here's your medicine. That's like, it's quick, right? So anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you are struggling, with anything chronically, acutely, I can support you with homeopathic medicine. You can visit me on my website, check it out, brightlightwellnesscoach.com, and you can book in a acute consultation if you have something acute. That means like a UTI that's not chronically occurring, or an ear infection, or a strep throat, or pneumonia, or you got bit by a dog, or all these kinds of things we can support, right? Or if you're struggling with something chronically, you book in the initial session and we'll work together to support you and get you stronger, right? Homeopathic medicine actually just makes you stronger and up levels your health. So you can actually rid these things yourself and not suppress them. I also have homeopathy courses, so you can check those out under the courses tab. I have one for UTIs, kidney stones, kidney infections, that covers that whole parameter, or pelvic issues. And then I also have one for ear infections, influenza, and first aid care, which is great. It's a great place to start. So if you want to start learning how to use homeopathic medicine yourself and be self-reliant and be your own doctor, be your family's doctor, you can do that. You can start supporting yourself by educating yourself and then being empowered to support you and your family on their health journey. So I hope that information is helpful to you. And again, you can leave me a comment, questions below, ask me anything you need. And yeah, looking forward to supporting you. Like the video, share with people you love. And yeah, also send me an email if you have any questions. So have an awesome day, and I will chat with you soon.